We are live. Good evening, good evening and welcome everybody. We are supercharging Silverstone tonight,
Ooh.
and it's absolute pissing wet.
Oh,
As you
so
can
typical
see.
Silverstone weather.
Yeah, well, I was about to say exactly the same thing again. Please do not adjust your sets. This is Supercharge. I know I'm not Mike. I'm not that old.
Mike is
Um,
doing his thing. He's putting his other prowess of racing to the test.
Yes, exactly. For some of you who watch FSC, Mike is now racing, so he has done exactly that for tonight. It also is his birthday, so if you're watching this back, Mike, happy birthday. And I'm along with the
Indeed.
man who he's normally along with, Sam.
Good evening, everyone, from a very wet Silverstone, or as we know it in this country, usual weather.
I was about to say, or as we call it, Silverstone,
Yes.
because it's.
Quite surprised. I haven't seen a full wet race for a while. I've seen intermediate conditions, but I haven't seen full wet.
I've not seen full wets for a while either, as we're looking on with King having a drive through an absolutely pissing wet pit lane.
And Prosty has retired already, so that's not ideal. I
Makes
think
me
he might be serving. I think he's serving a qualifying ban potentially, or maybe
I
something
was
like that. I don't know.
about to suggest the same thing because normally when people retire this early, they just set their setup and be done with it.
Yeah, I would say normally though you have to go out and set your setup before you do that. I would think.
Maybe,
I
but
believe it's either going to be FFG Demo or it's going to be King. I think it's Demo who's out first with King right behind him. So it depends on if King opts to go through.
which Damo
Um,
does let him through, and King does exactly that.
yeah, so King will be our first car on the actual track to set a lap time in these piss poor conditions. Excuse the pun. Um, let's be honest. If you can
Well,
physically see you can see the spray coming off the actual tires if you're on board. Like how
Yeah.
much water is coming off here. Like it's a rare thing even seeing wet tires even used these days outside
we're on
of like
board
the
with
games.
yeah, we're on board with Damo. You can see the massive plumes that are coming off of the tyres on both front and rears. So, you know, it is absolutely like chucking it down. Not cats and dogs literally, but it is absolutely chucking it down.
It's not quite Spanish rain. Let's just say that much.
It's very specific, but I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, basically Spanish rain. There's no rain and then it all rains at once, then it disappears, sort of thing.
Oh no, UK weather is nothing like that. It's very periodic. It's sort of on off, on off, on off for a constant few hours.
Yeah, if you can have 4 seasons in a single day, at least that's what I know in Scotland, having lived here for almost the past 30 years.
I've seen videos where you can see it snowing on one side of your window, and then it being absolutely glorious sun shining on the other end. But we're on board with King, who's just come out of the loop going through Aintree and onto the Wellington Straight.
Yeah, I always for some reason get these two straights confused. I don't know why. In terms of
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, at any point, if you hear me eating, it's because I made too many pancakes.
Even in the chat, Crossy, hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you do well tonight. Hopefully the conditions are better for the race. It looks like you're serving a qualifying ban. If you can, let's say, just pretty much confirm that for us, or if not.
I would imagine so. But we're going through Cops and then into Maggots Beckett, which again is going to be a challenge in the wet. Let's see what King does. Fifth gear down.
He's taking that not going into fourth. I mean, fifth gear is the gear I normally find taking that corner in the dry.
Pop the telemetry
How
on,
much
see how
difference
fast he goes.
Only about 200 miles an hour. Obviously,
Oh,
no
just shy,
DRS
just
in
shy.
these conditions. No, he's not got a qualifying ban. He just wants a little bit of time to enjoy himself.
Fair dues.
So fair enough.
Watch people
Hopefully,
spin.
work was
Yeah.
good.
Watch people spin in the wet. But here we go, first time up. Let's see what King
Gonna
can
be
do
about
as
40,
a
I believe.
benchmark. Just shy
39.
of that. 39.838. That's
FFG
a decent
Demo.
time. But here comes.
He's struggling
Damo.
a little bit more with Demo. He's
I was gonna
definitely.
say.
The reason I can often tell now of controllers because this is the sort of movements I do a lot of now.
I do that quite a lot as well. 47.5 for Damo. Let's look on with the Hasses
It's,
are actually coming up.
It's Logan first and then Vanel.
It is, so we'll go with
We'll
Logan,
go
who
second.
goes second. And
I
then,
know one of the people very high up in the championship. He's actually invalidated, but what would it have been anyway? It would have been a 43.
so it would have been P3. So
We have a dry race as well, according to Crossy. So two complete polar opposites to come up.
So in that case, would you set up more for the race or set up more?
Maybe
for
so. You're gonna want kind of a compromise. You want some corner grip, but you don't want too much corner grip, and you want some straight line speed, not too much though. So may have gone in one direction or the other direction, depends on if they've looked at the weather or not. Because I do know that sometimes I have not done that, and then I've realised the weather is not what I was expecting.
Ah, you silly moo. Cooper is going again. He must have invalidated, so we'll jump on with Quick Mick coming up to the line now. Cooper car's ahead of him as well, invalidated this lap, and I think he might have invalidated the next lap as well.
If you invalidate on the final couple of corners, then it validates this next lap as well.
I think he went a little bit too far on the inside of Club there. But again...
Oh, Vano's oh my word, Vano's had to save that coming up towards Magnus Beckett's complex as King goes even quicker, 39.3. Just on board with Vano there, and he was having his own moment there as he came up to Magnus Beckett's complex.
I mean, it's not quite easy. You're going in at a very high speed, which doesn't help also in the wet. So you're going to have even less grip. I've also been
told by Crossy that it is raining for the entirety of quali as well.
Okay. So this is going to be a very, very interesting qualifying session. Back end sliding there through Stows into Vale. He goes using the curbs down to third gear.
Be careful of the curbs in these conditions, because the curbs in these conditions are even more lethal than usual.
Here he goes. Not a good time for Vano. 45.
Yeah, he did make a mistake on that lap. That I did see. As Casper has retired, I believe that is actually he's crashed as he's went to go into the pit lane entry.
I was about to say, go on board with Cooper. Because, okay, the car's just been reduced to absolute zilch. So here comes Cooper up to the line. Looks to be a decent time from the Aston Martin. Could be pushing the front row. There he comes up to the line. 41.6 puts him in fourth place for the time being. Not a bad
I'd also
time.
like to note that Shaggy went P3, 40.6 for himself. So the mystery machine putting himself into third place. Wilder has invalidated.
The motivational message I gave him earlier has worked. Not that I want to take credit for anything at all. No. What do you mean? I'm not that shallow.
Crossy, just to answer your question, Mike is taking part in an SRC F2 race tonight. That's why he is not here for tonight's race.
And that's why you've got me. Whether I'm better or not is subjective. Let's put it that way.
It's subjective in the eye of the beholder, is basically, if you want to put it that way.
Oh, that's a mildly mannered fuck you there.
I'm not associating anything. What are you on about? We've worked together before, so you're in good hands, as we say still. I believe the last time we worked together was ERC Managers Japan, I believe.
I'm pretty sure we said that
last season.
Well, at least from my side. So there we go. Vano up to the line, goes second, 40.1.
That's the Vano I was expecting. Vano is one of the people I believe in the championship hunt. I don't know if standings are up to date. Normally Mike has those, but we don't have Mike's massive amount of facts to go off of tonight. Or one of his many Bibles, as he calls them.
Looking on with Rabsy, slightly up in the first sector. He's coming up to the second split now, just on exit of Chapel. Down to fourth gear through there, and he's 0.3 of a second up, going down the hanger straight up towards Stoke.
Quick Mick is about to come across the line while you're looking at that.
Where's he going to go? He's coming through club now.
41.8.
Nicely done by the Red Bull. But Rabsy goes very deep into Vale Chicane.
Yep.
Doesn't look to be a too good time. Will have scuppered whatever progress he had through that
Thank you much for the follow to Aspect 32. Appreciated.
Ooh, thank you, Aspect. We'll see you later, Crozzy. Good luck in your race. We've got Joshy Chester. Try saying that 5 times.
I'd like to note, by the way, Joshy Chester and Rabsy, that is a father and son pairing. So Rabsy is the father and Joshy Chester is the son.
Ah. So we'll see who could win out in that family battle.
Yes. Also to note, Shaggy has also decided, even though it's still pissing it down, he's bolted on a set of intermediates in the pit lane.
Ooh, he hasn't come out just yet, I don't think, or has he?
No, he's not. He's
Oh,
still,
he has.
he's still in the box.
He
He's
has.
just coming out now, so that's going to be an interesting one to watch out for.
Is it maybe sort of starting
I'll
to...
keep an eye, as I say, I'll keep an eye on him just now. See how his grip is looking.
Quick Mick, 1.2 seconds up after 2 sectors. This could be a stellar time, pushing him to the front 2 rows. Maybe even onto the front row, pushing Vano off as he goes into Stowe. Long right hand on a little bit. I won't even call it a hill. I'd call it a mound of dirt. As up to Vale he goes, 16 and 17. Of course, we know them as the names, not the corners, not the numbers. Here he goes up to the line, 40.019, puts himself on that front row, knocking Vano off, so it's a Haas second row, which again, in real life, you would be
So I think that so far in provisional times, that is Quick Mick's best qualifying of the season so far, because I do not believe that he has been that high up that whole season in Supercharged.
So is it possible that he's got some, like, I don't want to say wet weather expertise, but is he more at home, or does he just like feel better in the wet?
Who knows?
Maybe?
I don't. Who knows? It could be an interesting one to look out for. I'd like to note that while have you been looking at that, Shaggy hasn't really been struggling all that much in these conditions. So
Ooh.
maybe we're coming to that point. He's not. I've seen very little sliding from the rear of the Ferrari.
6 minutes and 20 to go. Could we be seeing intermediates coming on? Joshy Chester's hits Cop's corner, keeps it within the boundaries. Nicely done. And then up to Maggots and Beckers. Let's see what sort of lines he takes through there. Cuts the second apex. Nicely done into Chapel. Drops to third gear at one point as well.
Oh, that's someone's had an incident. That's one of the Hasses, I believe. Letting someone go through. I think that was someone letting Wilder go through.
I was going to say, it probably looks to be traffic. Joshy Chester. Dad's got a toy, 42885 to see if father like son, roughly similar times up to the line.
Yeah, looks
Here
like he might
comes the
be a
Red
bit
Bull.
quicker. 41.9.
Just under a second as well. So good stuff there from Josh, who puts himself not far off that third row.
Yeah, not bad. Your next car, I believe, to come around potentially and complete a lap is, I think, going to be Damo. He's a bit further ahead. He's on he's 2/10 up, but he's ran wide, so I'm assuming he's going to have lost a lot of time there.
Lap still valid though, so we'll see what happens as he comes through the line. Best time for 46.3 as he goes.
He
very
is struggling. I think he's maybe lost his advantage there.
Possibly, but here he comes.
Yeah.
1.6
Wilder is next up, just behind him.
See, he goes slightly up the hill, braking, goes again a little bit deep. We've seen a lot of cars go deep into there. Scup as you exit through here. And round the final corner. That is a Haas letting the car through. Wilder goes 9th, 43.6.
Yep. I'm going to go on board with Shaggy. Of interesting. He's backed out.
He's backed out.
He was 2/10 down.
Was he testing something? Was he trying to see if it would work? Because 2/10 down after 2 sectors.
Potentially, he's maybe seeing that.
If he'd gone for another lap, maybe?
I thought I resolved this issue last week. Streamlabs is being oversensitive again.
Because Logan said the F word. That's why.
Yes. Yeah, I understand that sometimes that can be a little bit like that, but come on, Streamlabs.
We need to talk to Andrew about that.
Yes, that can be discussed afterwards, if we can ever get hold of the Shetland pony.
Of course. And that's a very, very big, good grief, very big if. 3 minutes 40 of qualifying left to go. We're looking at Logan. Speaking of the man that got timed out in chat for a brief moment there.
Vano currently purple in sector 1, who I'm currently on board with, just behind Logan.
We'll jump on him instead.
Oh! Ooh, he is testing limits.
That is a good save there.
Yeah, he was only about half a sec. He was only about half a tenth up. Well, about point 0.05 up on his time in the first sector. So I wonder if he'll still be up.
That is a lot of wobbling there by that Haas. Very, very unstable as he comes through on exit of Chapel. Second sector again coming through now. 1.1 seconds.
Oh, I thought he would
Hell of
lost
a
time.
time.
Yeah, it's going to put him top at the moment from looks.
There's a lot of space that you can screw up here. Again, bit of a rear end wobble there. On exit, could we be seeing 38s, maybe even 37s, depending how this
a double
final
lock up
sector
as he goes
goes.
into that the third and final corner.
Here we go, up to the line. Vano, 38.
38.
38. Yes, it is. 38.805. 1.3
King
seconds
will want
up.
to respond to that.
And he's on an outlap right now.
Quick Mick is invalidated, by the way. He was nearly 2.5. He was over 2.5 tenths up, but he invalidated, I think, on his lap.
Could have probably gone again if he wanted to.
He's back. He's into the pits, so he's probably done for this session because of how long the pit lane is.
Cooper up to the line. Here he comes through Vale up towards the right-hander of Club. Where is he? You can see him just in the background coming up to the camera.
He's going to
There
improve on
he
his
goes.
time marginally. He stays what he is.
But still an improvement nonetheless. Rabsy, here he goes. Just under even a second down.
Oh, I've just
Gonna
watched
go again.
Damo completely miss the apex and managed to find the wardrobe that is in Normy on that corner.
I was going to say, what's gone into Cheshire?
Yeah, I think that's.
I was gonna
He
say,
was up in his time. He's 6.5 tenths up.
If he's gone into Cheshire, you can say hi to Mike as well.
He's now down his time because of that. I'm going to go on board with King and see how he's getting on. Currently coming up Magnus Beckett's complex.
Shaggy's gone out again, but in the wet tyre, so maybe.
Yeah, I think the
winters work for
intermediates
him.
were. It was too wet for that. I think it was too wet for the intermediates. I think it's going to be, as I say, Shaggy is currently just started in his lap. Looking at that,
Still up to the
King
line
coming
now.
around.
First lap goes 9th, 43.234.
Yep, Doug, who we also know from ERC, I believe. I don't know if he's a driver this season for a team, but I know that's the place I know him from.
I think yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. Damo 7 tenths up on his personal best. After
King's
the
about
first
to go
sector.
quickest. 38.7.
That is an absolute statement there from King. Can Vano do any better? He's got time to set another lap if he wants to, and I imagine he would, considering what King's just put in. So that's the Haas starting his final lap. Cooper's also going to be coming up to the line to go again. Quarter of a second up after 2 sectors. Here he comes. Again, improves his time slowly but surely. He's now in the 40s. But not a position just yet. Needs to improve by about 3 tenths. As
The
checkered
time
flag
clock
is
is
out.
up. Logan has backed off, so he's not going to be improving on his lap. The best he'll start is P4.
Here comes Damo up to the line. Through
Damo, I think,
Vale.
if he can find time. Shaggy, meanwhile, the mystery machine is coming up to the line in that Ferrari. Yeah, let's
Not
see how
very
he
far
gets on.
Not very far behind Damo. Can Damo improve? Improves by 2 seconds. And picks
Shaggy
Casper
goes
to
into
the post.
P3.
Shaggy goes P3. Good start for
39.8. That is close, by the way, in top 3. That is a very good. That's incredibly close.
Stokes 6 tenths down. He's gone into the pit lane. Back end sliding as he goes into the pit lane. That's one way to do it.
Yep, Cooper's down in his time in the first from the looks of it. Rabsy's on the middle at the moment, so we'll see what he can do.
Vano is just under 3 tenths down. He needs to perform a stellar final sector if he wants anywhere near pole position at the moment. He's on the front row, which some would say good grief, the control on that car he has. King goes
King's gone
even
quickest
faster,
again.
so he
Another
needs
10th.
another 10th and a half
He
on
needs to
top of his
find-
personal
yeah.
best. Probably about half a
I don't know
second.
if has he got it.
Nope.
I don't think he has.
3
Nope,
tenths
Vanna will
down on his
start P2
personal
at best. Cooper is still to come across the line, but he's invalidated and he's across the grass doing the Bottas mowing service.
Rabsy's 1 seconds down after 2 seconds, so I imagine he's going to be coming into the pit lane. He's not
Yep,
going
we
very
are
fast.
done.
So that's
Yeah, we
it.
are done in this session. Yeah,
That's us.
and what
stellar
is
qualifying
basically
session.
we're gonna have much like Silverstone weather, we're gonna have 2 polar opposites because we're gonna have a completely dry race.
Because why not?
Because why not?
Because Silverstone. It's what we've grown to love and adore from this circuit.
Of course. Obviously, while we're waiting for everyone to finish up and all of that, we've had the wrap-ups of testing and such, and I believe I've also discussed this at some point. Do you reckon that anyone can come close to Red Bull this year? Sort of when we come to round one or near the maybe latter half of this season?
Over the season in its entirety, no. I think it's going to be a similar situation to last year, where there's going to be periods where each team has that second place sort of thing. So like last year we saw McLaren. I think it could be McLaren for a bit, Ferrari for a bit, Mercedes for a bit, and I think that battle for second in the Constructors' Championship is going to be really, really interesting. But we'll chat more about that later because we've got the qualifying standings on your screen.
0.122 between first and second,
which on a wet Silverstone is a pretty decent gap. And then from there, the gaps
1.1 seconds down to Shaggy in P3.
Yeah, the gaps do grow quite a bit.
And it's quite close from Shaggy down to about Logan, and then they've got a massive gap from beyond that.
Yeah, Sun beats Dad as Josh is in 7th and Ramsey's in 8th. But we've got qualifying done. Race in typical Silverstone sunshine is going to be starting in about 5 or so minutes time, so make sure you don't go anywhere, as we've got 26, I think, laps.
26 laps ahead of us around this Silverstone circuit, which wraps around an old military airbase, and is one of the original circuits on the F1 calendar, and has been on the calendar in one way or another the British Grand Prix since 1950. Pretty much the first Grand Prix ever.
Well, there you go. And again,
obviously
typical Silverstone sunshine.
Yes, just a few clouds. I mean, people will probably look at those clouds and think it's going to rain.
I mean, I'm in London. I'm thinking, God, if those are there, could it rain? Maybe.
Well, I mean, we have a common saying in Scotland. It's with the rain with the weather in Scotland. Just wait 20 minutes. Because it will just change in a matter of about 20 minutes or some time span around that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that. I think is it Chicago? I think they have a saying, just wait an hour, and then it changes. So
we will be going at 2029, so in an hour 4 minutes or so.
2029, not in 5 years, in 5 minutes. I should clarify. There we go. That's an interesting one. Right, championship battle. I'm wondering if do you know what's cracking on that one, or?
I don't know if standings are up to date. I might have to have a quick old look at that one.
I mean, standings, again, as of halfway, which is what I've got. We've got Vano, Sainty, and Casper 1, 2, 3. But of course, Sainty isn't racing today. I imagine Sainty's also out with Mike with Simtech.
Most likely.
Mid and Bean in 4th again. Probably out helping Simtech. Shaggy's in 5th at the moment. Again, as of halfway, 1 podium. Ricky in 6th again, probably helping Simtech. King in 7th, he's going to be starting on 2nd place.
Looking at so Vano quite high up, I believe, leading is currently starting a pole with it. Well, King is on pole position. Vano's in 2nd. Vano's quite high up in championship. King's a little bit further down, I believe. He's had some up and down moments so far this season. I believe Shaggy has. He's in sort of the running as well. Quick Mick in 4th is a little bit further down. In terms of that.
Right. Again, you've got a little bit more experience. So I would like to ask you, good sir, what are you sort of expecting, or who do you
What am I expecting? Right, so looking at the sort of the grid that we have, King is prone to picking up penalties here and there, which has been his downfall in the past.
Hmm.
It's cost him, especially at especially the opening round in Paul Ricard. It cost him a lot of positions in the end. Bano has done a little bit better, but has also equally had some rounds where he's had some issues. And with Shaggy, as I say, Shaggy is consistent, but Shaggy will be patient and waiting to see what he does. We all know what Shaggy is from ERC as well,
Yeah, I was going to say we've seen
and
Shaggy
from
from
SRC as well, which I
yeah.
also believe he now races it. So
Hmm.
he kind of like tapers the line between two sides really there.
Yeah. I mean, it might as well. But yeah, we've seen him with ERC. We've seen him with Simtech. Um, he
He
does.
will wait. I mean, Shaggy will. He will
Yeah.
try. He will wait for an opportunity to see if something will happen before he does anything.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think
He
we
will
might be ready
pick his
enough,
moment.
but also two notes.
Yes.
I'm looking at the Discord chat at the moment for Supercharged.
Ooh, what's cracking?
Um,
What have I missed?
let's just say that Wilder might be on a full wet setup, so he might be a bit of a boat on the straights.
After qualifying,
Let's
I'll
just
be
put it that way.
happy if I make it to a straight. Is the exact wording.
So that could be an interesting one to see how he does in terms of that.
Oh, so we'll see what happens. I think we are going to be getting
Welcome
ready to
Demo
go
to
in
the
a
chat
sec.
and
Ooh,
Crooned
Damo.
as well.
Oh.
Welcome. We got another new follow as well. We got Crooned who's now followed the channel.
Oh my
Welcome.
goodness. Right. Formation is underway. Let's have a look at tyres.
And as Demo's a first-time chatter as well. Hopefully you do well yourself. Obviously you've been kind of on and off with I believe with Supercharged. So hopefully you do all good, sir.
I
So
started
your
11th is
tires.
progress as well. Last I saw Damo was back end of, I want to say, season 10 in ERC, where he had the race with in Abu Dhabi, and he was dead last for the whole thing. So again, starting at 11 is very much progress. So fair cop.
So your tire strategies, looking at it, top three have all gone hards. Quick Mick and Logan are on mediums. Then Cooper and Josh Chester are on hards. Rabsey's on mediums. Doug's on softs, going a little bit more aggressive. Wilder's on the mediums. Damo's opted for the softs. Casper on the hards, and Crossy at the back of the field is on the medium compact.
I should also clarify, yes, my name is Casper, but I'm not racing tonight. I'm not very good. My own
He did
evidence.
win a race against us too when we were doing test prep work for FSC.
Oh yeah,
which he was very proud of.
I absolutely destroyed them too. Yeah, but beyond that,
we don't include the fact of what the tech level was. We don't include that at all.
I don't bother mentioning it because it doesn't really matter nowadays. It's just tech level's tech level. It helps, but it's still all about the driver behind the wheel. as we're getting set to go here at Supercharged.
26 laps ahead of us at the Silverstone Grand Prix.
Which, considering it's Silverstone, it's going to be a hell of a race. We hope that you can enjoy every single minute of it. Cars even going wide to try and line up in the best way possible. Looking at Vano.
I don't know what Vano was. That was an interesting line from Vano there. He's been reset. He's a bit too far over.
I was about to say that does look a little bit too far over. 26.
Which is going to affect his start.
Yeah, that's definitely going to affect his start, as is Cooper's and Damo's. They've gone a little bit deep into their starting positions. 26 laps ahead of us, starting here on the Hamilton Straight. We'll see in about 45 minutes' time who the winner is.
And Joshy Chester has been disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. What on...
Well, there he goes.
What's
Not
happened
sure what's
there?
that about.
I have the suspicions there might be an issue with the lobby.
I have a suspicion about the exact same thing because we haven't started yet. So I do expect that to be the case. It wouldn't be the first time.
Are we gonna start, or are we just gonna be sitting here looking and seeing what might well happen?
I'm not sure. We're still waiting for cars to get going. formation lap has finished, so we're just waiting for the lights. We've already been
say,
waiting for about half a minute.
come on, this isn't a Tesco car park. Or substitute whichever car park of your choice of supermarkets. Any supermarket will. Yes. Or whatever.
Okay, right. So.
Yeah, we have.
Yep, lobby reset.
Okay, and that's good to know.
Lovely stuff.
Great.
Josh has just said thank God for that, but in much ruder terms. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to pause the stream, and we'll see you back in a couple of seconds' time. Don't go anywhere. We are back, finally. Took a little bit of time to get there, but some would say thank God F124 has just been announced today.
Yeah, well, bear in mind, F124, you've got to be careful of any glitches with that game early on, let's be honest.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot. I forgot that happened with the new game.
And you know what the glitches have been like with this game, and they don't always get fixed immediately.
Well, that's just EA being slow as always. So I was not particularly surprised.
That's EA being EA, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really
My
hoping it's
point.
on a new game model, or new game engine, rather, for
I
next year. Next year's game.
sadly, I don't think it is. I think it'll be on the same engine as the last few games, simply
Honestly,
because.
like the problem is like that game engine now is outdated now. Needs updated.
Yeah, I think the main reason I think that, and I saw it in ERC earlier today, it's because they're going to keep the game on F1, the F124. It's also going to be on Xbox One.
The next game's
And so
still on
those,
previous gen.
yes, which for me is a good thing because I'm on previous gen,
I'm
right?
sorry, and
But
I'm going to sound like a massive dick here, but that is what is holding back the games now as previous gen. I am
yeah,
sorry. But if you're on a previous gen console now, and I'm not meaning this to sound like a dish? A dick, yeah. I researched about dick and douche together, and that's what came out.
I'm sounding like a dish. I'm sounding like a macaroni cheese.
No, but the problem I've got, and this might be me just ranting, previous gen is now holding back future games. You need to put games on future generation consoles only. Make them a little bit cheaper so that people can afford them. Simple.
Starts. Sam's already starting to rant, and he's pushing 30. There we go.
Oh, I did that before. Demo apparently is a game invite. I don't. I'll see if I can find you. Does no one have you on
I.
their list?
Oh, he is here. He is here. He is here.
Oh, you're in.
He's just come in here. So you're going to set the grid, and then
Yep.
we'll be up and running. I am of an opposite opinion. However, what I think they should do, and this hurts me to say, is do what they did with Horizon 2. If you know what happened with that game, because that was released on
Two
both
different
360
versions.
and Xbox One. It basically had two different versions. You had the standard version, which was on the Xbox One, and it was all nice and colourful and as we all know it. And then the 360 version was just a bit crap.
Yeah.
Right? It was very flat. It was very basic, but you could still do most of the things. It was just, pardon me,
Not as good
bad.
looking, basically.
It wasn't even not as good looking. It just looked bad.
It was also the
It
fact
looked.
that some of the performances and some of the stuff you looked at, and probably driving physics, and that were probably a little bit different as well. It's much like what they do with FIFA, really, when they create two different versions of the game. Like there's completely different physics between the two different versions, sort of thing.
Yeah, it just looked unfinished. Right? It looked bad. It looked unfinished. But you had that game for the previous gen. They should do that with this game. Have this engine, whatever they have this engine, for this game.
No, a
But
different
then,
engine for the other one.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If it means they're not compatible, maybe stick with the same engine for both. But there's got to be some sort of workaround
Yeah, it's
because we know Unreal Engine works, right? That's what the EA game is running. The rally game, WRC,
I believe it's
right?
Unreal 4, right? That runs on the newest
I don't
WRC
know.
game. See, it's
I
Unreal
don't know
Engine
which
4.
Unreal
It's
Engine is.
I think it's not 5. I think it's 4. It runs on.
I think it's four, but all I know is it's Unreal, right? That's the important thing. If they can get that, if it's possible to run two engines, run two separate engines. If not, there's not much you can do. But if that's the case, this will probably, I hope, be the last game on previous gen. But we'll see in a year's time, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm just hoping
What
this game
happens?
actually gets like this game comes out more fixed than most. But I'm not holding out. Like the expectations are low, let's just say that the bar is set very low in terms of F1 23.
I think everybody's bar, considering what happened with this game, is
I'm not even watching
about
anything to
as
do with
low
this
as
game
low
coming
can
out.
be.
That's why that way there's absolutely no hype behind the game whatsoever.
Just if it's crap, I've prepared myself for it. If it's any modicum of good, I will be surprised.
Yes.
Well, we know where your level of excitement is for the new game, as
Be
as less
interested to
cars
know.
than there were before.
Yeah.
Is that what you were going to say?
No. Do we have less cars? No, we have 13 still.
Clouds, not drivers.
Clouds. Oh, less clouds. Yeah, it's
Go on, you
it's
should take you
completely
to
blue
spec
skies
centre to
this
get your
time.
ears tested.
I already have glasses to be honest, because I am already partially blind. So yeah.
Get your ears tested, not your eyes. Get your ears tested.
I mean to be honest, it's a thing called selective hearing. A lot of people have it.
Yeah, most women do. Oh, I'm joking. Sorry.
I mean,
Twitch.
to be honest, most people, to be honest, if you're out and about in London, especially, have selective hearing. If you try and talk to them, they'll just go, "What?"
Oh God, yeah.
That was a thing we had a
Yeah.
topic conversation about at some point, was the fact of the difference between sort of Edinburgh and then the difference between Edinburgh and London. It's like two capitals. Like,
Yeah.
you see people in Edinburgh who you can have a conversation with someone like completely randomly, like without even knowing. If you try to do the same thing in London, people would just look at you funny.
Yeah, London. I've lived it for about a year and a half now. London is very. How do I say it? Sort of very isolationist.
Yes, isolationist.
Sort of.
We have ERC Thanos. Which one is that again? Because I know he changed that. Yes.
So here we go.
Trying to remember
Here
who
come the
that is in the
lights,
ERC chat.
looking already.
Oh yeah, the lights are out already. There was no formal lap, I
out,
think.
and we're going here in Silverstone, and there's 3 wide further back. King's had a good start. He's going to lead into turn 1, but Shaggy's going to try and go around the outside of Abbey. He's still side by side going through farm curb cars off track, and we go 3 wide there with Quick Mick down the inside. He gives it a go on the curb, still side by side for second place, as there goes Logan trying up the inside of the loop through Aintree. He saw boxed in is Quick Mick by the Hasses, but Logan gives up the positions. They're going down the Wellington Straight for the first time in this race. King has got a hell of a lead, as there's a McLaren making moves. That's Damo as he tries to make a move. Goes deep, does Mick.
Rossi spun, I
through
think.
Brooklyn side by side.
He's lost the position himself. Yep, he's side by side with Ramsey. He's got
That's
through.
going to be close battle,
Quick
but still
Mick.
side by side up at front here. Quick Mick with Logan making one position. I thought he was going to try 2 side by side through Cops.
Quick
That
Mick
was
right around the
very,
outside.
very close. That's a very, very close one, but great move. Went a little bit off track to make it, but still a very good move
Got to be
nonetheless.
careful
Cutting the
of
curbs.
Yeah, you need to be careful of
Through
cutting
the
that
S's.
curb there, because you will get warnings for cutting the curb through there.
And of
Logan
course,
using the
pre-warning
battery.
is a time penalty. To the right, left side, he goes round the outside of Stowe.
He's going to get
It's
it done
a
on the
very good
outside.
opportunity, but
No, he's not.
I think Quick Mick just held the line. They're still side by side going up to Vale. Still outbreaks and goes a little bit deep
We
on
had the other Red
curves.
Bull trying to go on
Whoa,
the outside of someone.
What a defence! A careful
Up there from
for Cooper as well. He tries to force himself up through Club, but that's not a place to do
I
that.
think we got someone's. I think Casper and Joshy Chester went side by side briefly there for a second. We got Ramsey getting
Briefly up
past
to Club,
Damo.
That's exactly what happened, and that is a lap.
Yep. Logan once again, as I say, I think he's still side by side. These two have been side by side for around about half a lap to a full lap now.
Pretty much the entirety of the race so far, but now the gap has widened a little bit. It's 0.4 of a second between them. Don't forget, DRS isn't active yet, so it's going to be
That'll be
even
next
better
lap.
once that happens.
I'd also like to say that the Thanos was formerly Blunt Blade. He just changed his gamer tag.
I did not know that he changed that.
You doing well, Gary?
A lot of people are changing because Bull's changed to Vader now. And then of course we've got Thanos as well. Looking on with Logan going into the
trying
S,
it.
lifted off there.
Oh, I think it's a bit wide from Quick Mick there. He's going to try and get around the outside. He's covered it.
He's covered it off, but then to the left side goes Logan out the slipstream. They're going to go side by side again. Outside of Stowe didn't work last lap. Is it going to work this time around?
I think he's closer this time. He's wider this time.
Still side by side. That was a brilliant defence by Quick Mick. Very much trying to replicate what Checo did a couple of years ago. Wilder's got 2 penalties already, but he's on the back of the field at the moment.
Got Vano on the back of Shaggy. Shaggy was briefly in range as well. Logan's going to have a go into turn 1.
Oh, that was a great drive from
wide. Logan's going to go up the inside again. These two just costing themselves time hand over fist here to the cars in front.
And don't forget it's DRS around here as
Logan's
well.
got DRS. His world is fixed for 5 seconds. Just had his troubles, and there he goes. His race is done already. And I think Quick Mick is already at a VRS.
Oh goodness! Now how are you going to regenerate the battery because there's not very many braking zones around here?
Yeah. Vano meanwhile.
He's got drive. He's going to go inside a woodcut, force him around the outside. But I think Logan's got a little bit better pace as they go
meanwhile.
This is a brilliant battle for 4.
Practically pushing Shaggy as they come up to Angus Beckett's complex. And Shaggy is outside of 1 second, so he's going to be a little bit of trouble here as Shaggy in the Ferrari.
Passes are imperious at the moment. Here comes Vano, goes to the right hand side.
Yeah, Shaggy's wise to it.
Shaggy's
wise to not fight that one too much, not lose too much time, and we'll try and use Vano as a little bit of a horse and carriage technique.
Ooh, that's a very nice way of closing it. Quick Mick also gets passed by Cooper. Cooper gets passed by Quick even. So other way around.
That's a yellow. That's I think that was Wilder's car coming back out the pit lane, which this game does for some reason.
Because why not? Why make the game functional and proper?
Yeah. Doug's has now got a penalty himself. Down in 11th. Interesting that both the soft runners are near the back of the field near the start of this race when you think they'd be making the most progress forward. Forward rather.
You'd think. Well, Damon was up to 8th at one point, maybe even 7th, so he's dropped down a couple of positions. Actually, let's look at position changes. Casper best placed up 5. Crossy's also gone up 3. So there's a couple of big gainers, but generally no major position change beyond that.
Yeah. I don't know why. Well, I think Shaggy let Vano go, but Vano's not made the inroads that I think Shaggy wanted the inroads to be made.
It doesn't look to be quite ideal, I think, is for Shaggy, because
there's like two sort of there's sort of 2 main battles going on at the moment. You've got the battle for second, then you got the battle for like 4th backwards to about P7, which I think Casper's going to make a move in Cooper actually. Which he just has.
He goes into Stowe. Great move. We've seen defences in there. Now we've seen attacks as well. So Stowe proving to be the action point of the race so far. Lap 5 of 26. Hell of a race so far. But you
I think Casper has more battery than the 2 cars ahead of him. Yeah, he does.
I think he might do as well. Yeah, looks to be.
2 cars in front are both on less than 10%.
Let's also not forget that Casper's on the hard tyre, so if he can pull out this pace on the hards, God forbid what he could do on mediums or even softs should he jump on that.
The 2 of them just doing the old snaking technique down the straights. Something I've seen used.
Tyre energy, yeah.
It's also just to kind of try and get a car out of your slipstream, but most people are wise to that and will find a way around that.
Yeah. There's usually a way around anything. If you come to think of it, as these guys heading into Cop's corner, right-hander
Logan's got a penalty in 4th. Yeah, that's another place you can pick up a penalty if you run slightly too wide out there. As I think Quick Mick has made a mistake somewhere and he's almost dropped himself out of range.
He ran very wide there through Cops, and that will have lost him quite a decent bit.
And here comes Casper, who has a lot more battery to deploy.
He's using it, goes to the right side, inside of Stowe. Crossy gets a 3-second time penalty, but that's no problem for Casper because he's made a move down towards 5th place.
Yeah, that was always happening with the fact of Quick Mick on almost nothing in the way of battery left at 10% to Casper, who's now at about 67%. He's now got Logan, and he may well try and close in and to the back of Shaggy. you can get past
now
Logan.
mediums versus hards, you'd think the mediums would be the better tyre, but we'll see what happens down the Wellington Straight, the next section with DRS, of course, although Logan is keeping the gap sort of relatively stationary.
He is indeed keeping the gap around about the same.
10.5.
He's not really gaining any ground on Shaggy either, all things considered. He's kind of losing time on Shaggy points. Like, he only gains marginally. King's picked up a penalty, so as I thought, King having problems with track limits.
That easily. I was about to say that's a big story, but considering that, again, you said that happens quite often.
He picked up, well, bearing in mind, I believe, the first round in Paul Ricard, he picked up about 9 to 12 seconds of penalties, just over the case of a race distance around France.
Yeah.
So,
fair.
Vano, meanwhile, has got himself within a second, actually.
Yeah, King must have made a mistake through that section, because he's dropped about half a second now, but with DRS, probably half that was part of it. As up towards Vale goes Vanu. Through there nicely. Oh, back end sliding there as they start 20 to go, lap 7 to 26. And into Abbey for the 7th time. Now,
which used to be the old turn, which was not turn number 1, it used to be part of the original circuit when it was originally Bridge. When they had Bridge as the...
Yes! Now we were talking about this a couple of nights ago, and you were saying you prefer a Bridge layout to this layout.
Yeah.
And there you go. I never saw
we were discussing, I believe it was, for context, it was tracks that we would like to see if we were picking our perfect calendar.
Yeah.
For Formula 1.
Yeah. When I went to Silverstone a couple of months back, we were sitting in the BRDC grandstand by Brooklands, and there was a moment where I saw, where's that bit of track going? I was like, oh, that's the old Bridge layout. The track, the tarmac, is still there from that. Or at least
I think other places use it, like other sports use that. I believe it. I think BTCC, if they race at Silverstone, still use that old layout, if I'm correct.
I'm not sure. I'll ask my mate who runs the Project Touring Instagram. But these pair are as close as
Vano got close on the straight, but he wasn't quite close enough to make the move. However, I think he's going to make... I think he's making the move here, obviously, in this DRS zone. Do you make the move into this straight here, or do you make the move into the second straight? Which one's the better access point?
Again, I'm not a racer, you are, but I'd say probably this straight here, because there's a lot more sort of places where you can screw up, make mistakes, gain time. Sort of through here as well, you can take a lot of lines into Brooklands, into Luffield as well, leaves a gap to King. Vano thinks better of it, and then sort of Cops as well is like very easy to make a mistake, as is Magnussen Beckett, whereas the rest of the track isn't. It's not as mistake prone, I don't think.
No.
But again, there's a reason I do not race, because my pace is not very good in general. But here we go.
I just watched Rabsy decide to take the alternate line around coming to Magnus Beckett's complex, deciding that corner just does not exist on the right at all.
That's one way to do it, but here comes Logan on Casper, down the inside of Stoke, goes that.
I think Casper's going to try and send it right around the outside. He thought about it.
Gives it a try, but hasn't quite got the grip to make that move.
And Rabsy gets past
fighting a little further back.
I think Josh is going to try and come back. Not much. I think he's left his ERS on and forgot he's left it on. Because I'm looking at it, he's still got the ERS.
Yeah, he does. I think he's forgotten he's still got it on.
There we go.
There we go, yeah. Right, let's jump back to the top. 4/10 between Vano and King.
Vano's got so much battery in comparison to King. Vano's on almost a full charge. He's not even using the battery yet. And they are dropping Shaggy. The Shaggy's dropped over he's nearly 2.5 seconds back now.
Shaggy's very much in field of his own at the moment.
Yeah,
2.5 behind Vano, 2 seconds ahead of Logan. So he's very much the manufacturer and a customer sandwich, one would say.
Indeed. The Damo's in for... There's Damo into the pits, and I think he's putting on the hard tyres, I would think.
I do believe that is the first proper pit stop.
Yes.
Of the race. Going for another set of softs. Okay.
Interesting strategy.
Soft, medium, perhaps. But we'll see what happens a little later on. Casper gets back at Logan down the inside of Stowe. Logan tries to get back at him. Is he going to do it into Vale? Not close enough. Really
and Vano's picked up a penalty. How did he pick that up? I just noticed he picked the penalty up.
Check race director, it'll be in there somewhere.
Yeah, I had to go and plug my controller back in because the batteries died.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, he did have penalty. He's got another warning as well. Yeah, he's picked up 3 warnings from lap 1 and lap 3. So we're now all even at the front, and now Shaggy's got himself a chance if he can get back within 3 seconds.
Yeah, he probably needs to be. How far is he from the lead? He's 3.6 seconds off the lead at the moment. We'll stay on the leader graphic for a little bit. But if he can close up that half second over the next 16 laps...
I would like to say Casper's now in the back of him now.
Yeah, he's actually pretty close. About 8/10, 7/10
and
away.
Casper, as I say, is trying to drop Logan, who's obviously maybe not got that much battery to deploy himself.
I should clarify once again, this isn't me.
Yes, this isn't Casper, as you thought. We also, at some point, because we did also have somebody racing in this league called Tiny at some point, who we've not seen since after about round 3 or 4. And we decided to confuse Tiny just by thinking it was him racing. For no reason.
Right. I thought for a moment that you were thinking of the Tiny that we know, but there goes Casper down the inside.
It's not the same person, by the way.
So he's made a move. Has Shaggy possibly either run those hards too hard, or does the Ferrari not have the pace?
That's an interesting one. Because Shaggy we know is measured. He will sort of... Shaggy's normally in it for the long run more than anything else.
Gary has redeemed hydrate, so we know what we need to do.
I don't have anything next to me.
I do, and I've got a bottle with a straw that you can probably hear.
Yes, the one that you've actually seen before. I'd like to note, by the way,
there we go.
I'm on. I think Shaggy's trying to come back at Casper. He was close, but he wasn't quite close enough.
It's got to be careful for Logan as well in the back of this.
Yep.
Because we've seen Logan do some.
Rabsy's side by side with Cooper.
Ooh, that is very wide through Luffield. Almost contact there with the rear left tyre of the Aston Martin.
I think Cooper has kept hold of the position.
Does look to have done so
and Rabsy again
is pushing each other.
I think Rabsy's doing the thing where you circumvent getting a warning on that corner, because the thing is, if you run slightly wide, like 2 cut tyres off, you get a warning, but if you run all 4 off, it doesn't give you a warning, weirdly enough.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a weird way of going about it, but if you run like 2 wheels off that corner on the left, you get a warning for that even if you're on the track. But if you run all 4 tyres off very slightly, it doesn't give you a warning.
Again, F123 being F123.
Not just the F123, I think that's a thing on more than one game. It's Joshi Chester. He's got past Rabsy's. Rabsy's in the pits after only 10 laps on mediums.
Hards?
That must be hards.
How long do you think mediums would last? Give or take.
12, 13 laps? About that? Then the hard tyres rest of the distance. He's gone softs.
Okay.
That must be, and he must be planning something with that strategy. Maybe he's doing medium, soft. Or maybe he thinks there's going to be a safety car at some point, but there's nothing really happened as such to indicate there might be a safety car. Although we have seen him before. As King runs a little bit wide, by the way, just to note. I did see him a little bit wobbly.
Stream, yeah.
A little bit wobbly through there, which has put him out of position for the next few corners, and that's given Vano a chance.
He's very close through here, but Logan, I think that was quick. Mick picked up the penalty, but here comes Vano to the right-hand side. He's making the move with DRS, with probably ERS as well, as they head up towards the mound of dirt that is on Stowe.
Yep, King into the
Then
bits.
in goes King.
Only 11 laps on that.
With the Mercedes.
That's going to be an intro. I think he's going to go into mediums.
I was
Thinking about
to
it.
suggest, because if you're saying the mediums can last about 12 or so laps, trying to push him for 15 with, okay, let's assume there's
That
going to be
now
a safety car
means-
break of about
yeah.
2 or 3 laps. Yeah, that's going to be like a pretty probable kind of strategy.
So he has gone into the mediums as such. And that means that Vano and Casper, and probably Shaggy as well, are most likely going to have to respawn next lap, I would think. Or the next couple of laps to avoid the overcut. Because I believe overcuts are quite popular around here as well, because of how slow the pit lane entry is, it doesn't really work. It works. Oh, Vano spun.
Ooh, exit of Luffield. We're on board with the Haas. He dropped down to 4th place.
He just
And so
lost it.
whatever
Like, I don't even know what he
massive
did.
advantage he had going through the first sector is all gone, and in fact it's gone the opposite, because he was about 5 seconds ahead of the pack in front, but now he's 5 seconds behind.
Yeah, I don't
So-
know. I just looked, and I think it was a tiny bit of his rear wheel that caught like the curbing, and he just sort of tried to put power down. The back end of the car said no.
Back into the car said nah. So this at the moment is the battle for the lead.
Yep. So
but-
Casper's now effectively taking the lead at the moment. He stayed out.
right, Shaggy
Stayed out, and
Shaggy's
Logan's
gone
Shaggy's gone in. He's responded because now I think that Shaggy might. He's effectively going to be in second place here. I think.
I think so. Once all the pit stops come through, I think he will. But where's King? He's going through Stone now. We're on board with the Ferrari. Ferrari's going in.
I'm going to keep an eye on King.
Onto the
See what he
mediums.
is. He's coming around the final corner now. He's got traffic of Crossy in front.
Ooh, that's
He's
gonna
got
be
held.
difficult.
He's got held.
Ooh, this
Crossy has
could
now
be
let him
close,
go.
you know.
I think Shaggy
This
might have
could
got
be-
it if he's managed to keep.
He's got through, but let's
No,
see
he
how
hasn't.
big the gap is.
I think that might have helped Shaggy out. As I say, Shaggy's coming out of the pits now. As Cooper
What's
and
the gap?
Joshi are also
About 8
in.
seconds, I
It's
think.
looking.
7
Yeah,
and a
he's also got to
half
get
on
past.
Crossy.
He's also got to pass Crossy as well.
So, gap between Shaggy and net lead of King at the moment is about 8.5 seconds. But we're looking at this battle here for first place. We're waiting
Yep.
for you guys to actually respond to the pit stops
Yeah.
that have been made by both King and Shaggy. Sort of 5th and
Most
7th
likely going to
respectively.
be Vano now, as he's put himself in a really risky spot with that spin, in terms of the fact that he's most likely going to drop back behind both King and Shaggy, as I believe.
In
I
goes
think
Casper for the podium. For the
Logan's
pit
gone
stop.
the long. I think Logan, if he's trying it, is going medium soft. If you think so, if he's
I've seen it happen. I've seen it work. I'm thinking back to the Open where it did work.
oh yeah, we did have the open around here as one of the tracks. So
For those of you that were here back in the good old days of December, will know that this race was one of the races was half distance at Silverstone, as King goes fast as 28.706, and I do believe Nathan, I think, who won the race, did do it on a medium soft strategy. So and Logan, I do believe, did race in the Open at some point. I don't know if it was one race or both races. But I do believe Logan at some point did race in the Open, so maybe he's trying to replicate it.
indeed, he's potentially trying to see what he can do in terms of. He's maybe seen that the strategy's worked. Quick Mix also stayed out, so I wonder if he's also doing the same thing. And going
It wouldn't
for
surprise me if
soft
that was the
compound tires. I
case.
mean, you will look at about 6 or 7 laps out of the softs, but then they will really die off after that.
So okay, medium soft, when would you pit for soft?
19, lap 20.
Okay. So trying to push 18, let's say, laps on the mediums, we're going on board with Casper. He's side by side with Shaggy. So Shaggy's overcut hasn't worked. Casper's right back ahead of him. So sort of net second place.
But he's got Vano as well. Vano came out in 7th out of all of that.
Yeah, I mean,
one outlier
Vano did
between
have that spin as well.
To bear in mind, Vano is going to be more determined now than ever to get himself back through the field again.
Oh, definitely. It certainly is going to affect him in the last 11 or so laps. But we're looking here, battle for 4th place. Crossy, Casper and Shaggy. Crossy goes to the left-hand side.
Crossy, I'm surprised. I think Crossy is not... He's trying not to sort of... He's running his own strategy, so he doesn't really want to be sort of battling too much as such, as he quickly sees getting on the racing line there.
Yeah, he's just giving up the position. Was it Crossy that said that he was running the West setup?
And it was Wilder. Well, it's already out of this Grand Prix. It was the one that retired on like lap 1 or lap 2, I believe. So,
which I was going to say that will probably explain why he retired, because
we had the restart, so I'm assuming you would have had to start on the same setup he qualified on.
Yeah,
so.
I'd imagine that's probably what you would have had to do. Right, Logan's in the pits. Logan is in the pit lane. We don't expect him to retake the net lead. So Quick Mick, for
also
the first time, will not lead the race. King is going to retake the lead.
This is going to be... I don't know whether or not this will be a thing where these two... I don't think this is too early for softs. It's just a few laps too early. It'll be interesting. I'm going to see Quick Mick.
He's gone onto the hard tyre.
He is going... Logan's gone hards, and Quick Mick has gone softs.
The thing is, right, that... Yes, you're on technically sort of like the worst tyre, but you can use the hell out of it. Because there's a lot more
Logan's going to
be... than 10 laps.
Yeah, Logan's come out in 5th, so he's not in a bad position, all things considered. Everyone now has boxed. Rossi's went to soft as well.
Then once you can get the hards to work as well, again, you can just use the hell out of them because they're going to last, regardless.
Yeah.
You're not going to use 40% of a hard tyre in 10 laps. Maybe if you were in Spa, but not round here.
No.
So, you know, you can just constantly put in lap after lap after lap after lap and make up a few positions. On face value, it's not too bad of a position to be in, I don't think.
Not really. I would like to note, by the way, that Shaggy's not really gained that much ground on Casper. It looks like Casper might have the upper hand on Shaggy, looking at it. But King, as I say, now has a massive lead, obviously Vano having had that spin. He's trying to gain the ground back, as there's Quick Mick himself. He's second, I believe.
Yeah, he cut the S's at Maggotts and Beckers, and that's exactly how he picked it up. Why? Because we were on board, just as he snake in down the back straight.
Yeah. Oh, I see that one. That's just so easy to do that. We're not even
side by
thinking
side,
about
here we go. Quick Mick and Ramsey up towards Vale. That's a great drive out of snow to make that move.
The soft runners, as I say, are going to have to be careful with their tyres because you need to sort of measure out how much of how much pace you use now and how much life you take out the tyres just now, and saving a little bit for later on.
And Ramsey's a good example of this. Why? Because Ramsey's on 6-lap-old softs. Quick Mix have only just been put on.
Yeah, I mean, Ramsey's going to have to box again. We know that much.
Yeah. That is going to be unfortunate for Ramsey. As we're we're midway through about lap 18 of 26. Hello, everybody who's just come back from the ad break. Damo's just picking up a 3-second time penalties. King is still in the lead. Casper second, Shaggy third. Looking on with Vano in fourth. Of course, if you don't want to watch the ads, we do have subscriptions. Twitch Prime. Yeah, Twitch Prime.
I mean, you get one free one every month. Ah, so I'm glad you ask. So you get one free with Amazon Prime. You get one free subscription every month. We'd appreciate. You basically have to have your channel have that have a certain level of a certain thing. But if it has it available, you can subscribe using Twitch Prime for a month, and it means ad-free viewing.
Wow.
And who doesn't like that?
I'm completely not acting as if I have Twitch Prime. Yellow's in the
think
second
that's
sector. That's for Damo. Yeah, just on exit of Woodcut there. Looks to have,
Yeah, he's not got any damage. I think he's all good.
I was going to say, if he's got damage, there's probably a safety car going through there.
Yeah,
but
safety cars can come out for like the smallest of things. Vano's got himself within a second of Shaggy, I'd like to know.
As we've just seen Damo batter the wall again. And taking a very, how do I say, interesting line through Nuggets and Beckett's.
Come on, Damo. I can't have you doing that. Maybe he's trying to.
Let's jump to third place, shall we? Vano right at the back of Shaggy. This is a battle for the podium, but Vano again cuts the entry onto Nuggets and Beckett's, and he does have that time penalty as well, whereas Shaggy doesn't. There's an advantage.
Shaggy, we know, is actually
Ferrari.
knows the limits of the track and knows when not to cut, sort of thing. It's a rare thing to see Shaggy pick up a penalty. However, it does happen on occasions.
It does happen on occasions, but Vano's made the move on Shaggy, so that is third place for the Haas. That is the Supercharged is the standard F1 point system.
I don't know.
Oh, hold on. I saw something about that in the Discord a little while ago. So point structure. Here we go. So
hang on a
P3
minute.
is 26 points.
Oh yeah. Rabsy's got pits for a second stop. That's what I see.
P1 is 30, all the way down to P20 is 1, and then it's sort of actually roughly level going down from there. Rabsy's gone into the pits again. We expected it because he was on the soft tyres for about 7 or 8 laps. And as you said, they don't last around here.
Not really.
Not really, no. They're pretty, how do I say it? They're pretty weak. In the nicest way possible, of course. Lovely soft tyres, but
Yeah.
you're not exactly the strongest thing in the world, are you?
Now it was say Vano trying to gain ground on Casper for second place.
Shaggy's lost ground as well on Vano, just through the S's. I think that's where Shaggy's weakest, sort of through the S's, through the high downforce sections, because he's lost a tenth and a half through Stowe as well. Does seem to be a very, very low downforce setup in that case, as Damo's got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the
You
pit
see,
lane.
that'll be his second 5-second that he's got within the pit lane entry. Damo's just in here just for the points.
I think at this point, yeah. Actually, looking at penalties, King 3, Vano 3, this is seconds. Logan 6, Quick Mix 6, Joshy 3, Crossy, Rabsy and Stug all on 6 as well, and Damo is on 90.
Yes. I have known someone around here who has genuinely got about 26 to 29 seconds of penalties around this track.
You sure that wasn't you?
No.
Okay. That's okay. I was just going to say that's a surprise, but
Around that range from like a league race that I was involved with at some point.
oh my word, that's pretty funny. I can't lie. What was it, like a full distance? Was it half distance? What was it?
It was half distance as well.
Oh, good lord.
Half distance of Silverstone. Someone managed to do that.
Oh, good lord. I could probably run. I was going to say I could probably run down the front straight in about that time, but that's no, I can't. My best.
I mean, at some
was like
point, somebody
14
actually did
seconds.
do that a long time ago. Ran onto the track trying to preach a certain thing.
Yeah,
Back
not
in
for the first
2003.
time. Not for the first time as well. Like was it last year or the year before? They did.
It was green. It was just stop oil or something like that.
Yeah.
They tried to block the track, but there was no cars going around at that point, so they kind of failed in what they were doing. Don't get
Yeah.
me started on just stop oil. I have opinions which are not stream friendly.
I'll cheer you up with a bit of a weird protest. Have you heard what happened to the Formula E race in Berlin last year?
I think I do remember seeing that, yeah.
There was a protest just as the cars were lining up on the grid. You have to bear in mind, this is Formula E, so the cars are electric.
Yes, this is from League, where the cars are electric, because people think that electric engines run on oil.
Yeah, because electric engines... they must have thought electric engines run on oil, right? Not power or anything, not sustainable or anything, nothing at all like that. And yeah, there was some oil protesters that just jumped on the track as they were lining up on the grid.
They were probably very quickly dispensed, and they were very quickly dispensed of, I would have thought.
Well, they were actually pretty quickly. I started about 2 minutes
I'd like to know
late,
Logan by the way trying to
down
send.
The inside.
That's an interesting place to make a move.
That was very, very close there. Shaggy again, calm, calculated. Is the mission machine side by side again going into Abbey? This is the first
think
lap
he's gonna.
thing.
He'll let him have it. That's
Yeah.
good judgment decision there by Shaggy, because Shaggy can see that line is going to get closed off, and he's the front of his car chopped off if he's not careful there.
Yeah, that line would not have been ideal. I should also note that this version of the track is already sort of out of use because the long lap loop is no longer on the exit of the loop. Rather ironically, is right here where you can see the dotted line. That is now basically the MotoGP long lap loop. Yes, I'm a bit of a nerd, I know that.
I mean, MotoGP is also one of your interests as well. I mean,
MotoGP
bit, yeah. Only just started coming here recently, did they? Or they always ran the British Grand Prix at Silverstone for MotoGP.
It's been here for quite a few years. Ignoring 2020, I think it's been here since at least like 2016. I know they used to do a Donington.
I mean, Donington seems like a good track, as I say, for something like MotoGP bikes.
I think MotoGP at Donington had the same problem as F1 at Donington. The cars were just a little bit too fast. World Superbikes race there. It's a good track for them, but I think it's just a little bit too fast.
Well, if it's like a tier system, then obviously World Superbikes is lower down than a MotoGP bike.
Yeah, World Superbikes is sort of like the GT version of a bike, kind of thing.
Yeah, and so MotoGP is like...
Do you get the comparison kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then MotoGP is obviously F1.
I'd like to note, by the way, Pano has crept himself right almost onto the back of Casper for second place. Moment.
And it's sort of 3 to go. That's how quickly time's gone.
Yep.
Hell of a race.
I mean, good recovery considering the spin.
Oh yeah, good recovery. If he can get himself past Casper,
which he is actually trying to do now.
Likely. Here we go to the right hand side. That is a move clinically done.
Yep, he's not going to make in 3 laps. I don't think he's making that gap to King. I don't think.
Not even with the best one in the world, I don't think. As we start.
I would like to note, by the way, it's this is the first time I think I've seen Casper back in a while. Supercharged. I haven't seen him in action for a few weeks, so nice to see him back in action again. All things considered.
And a podium finish is going to be a hell of a way to come back. Definitely. As they go through farm curve, does Shaggy. So it's sort of a race of like what could have been, because
yeah,
Shaggy's pace has just been.
He's there for thereabouts, but he doesn't seem to. He's struggled a little bit in comparison to some of those around him.
Yeah, I don't want to say his pace was nowhere, but his pace hasn't been as good as I'm sure he would have hoped. So I'm sure he's going to be fine with a 5th place, but I think he knows there was more there for the taking. Ooh, there goes Logan. I saw something flying up there as they were heading into Cop's corner. Was that maybe a bit of carbon off of one of these cars?
I didn't actually see because I wasn't on board as such. Well, as I say, Casper is thinking about a move. Well, he's going to move or something like that. Shaggy, meanwhile, is coming back at Logan. Both these guys are low on battery deployment at this point. With this, the final lap of the Grand Prix.
I was about to say that. Yes, we have. Only about 5Ks of racing action to go. As we're on board with.
See, I actually think that Casper's going to get P2 here back because Vano's not going to be able to get away from it.
That's very true. He does have that 3-second time penalty, so he is going to probably pick up that position unless, God forbid, Casper makes a mistake.
Or picks penalty himself.
Or, of course, yeah. Well, that would fall with the category of making a mistake. Up towards Brooklands, these guys go for the final time. That is nicely handled by the Alpine. Of course, rumours coming out recently that the Alpine is going to be absolutely nowhere come the start of the season.
They're going to be just ahead of Haas or potentially even behind Haas for the beginning of the season. I mean, that's a damning report if that's any kind of thing. And I mean, our resident in our group of graphics, Tiny.
Yeah, we've been taking the piss out of him for it. He loves Alpine.
It'll be sad to see this Alpine go, the one that actually has any sort of paint on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of these cars that are going down, and so
he's actually going to. I think Casper wants the position on track.
He has done exactly that, but here comes King up to the line. He's dominated since the first lap, and
Vano's trying to go around the outside. Oh, he's juked him. No, he's not. Oh!
Ooh, almost. King crosses the line, wins the Supercharged race here.
Vano's going to get him.
Oh!
He gets it in the end.
He doesn't get it, but that is a
he's going to get P4
finish
off of Logan.
P4 finish, good finish there for Shaggy. Will jump on board with Quick Mick as well. I think he's going to be fine with the amount of penalty that he's got. How much has he got?
Cooper, one of the other few drivers without a penalty.
Oh, that is going to be very, very good for Cooper, staying in 7th place. Quick Mick gets 6th. Cooper gets 7th, and I imagine Joshy and Crossy and Ramsey are going to stay where they are in 8th, 9th, and 10th. They do seem
Cooper finishing comes within 2.3 seconds of Quick Mick. In the end.
That's how much penalties can affect your time.
Then the final car cross line is going to be Ramsey, who's coming to the final corner now. The final 2 corners, and he goes round, and that, as they say in the business, is that.
Hello, Sarah. I can see Sarah's just popped in. Hello again, Damo. Toto Wolf wants to speak to King. God.
Well, you want some for next. You want some for like next season. I'm gonna guess.
Well,
for 2026.
Let's put it that way. We'll do our own version of Drive to Survive. Drive of the day.
I'm either tempted to go for King or Vano, and I can't decide which one.
I think Vano.
Yeah. Considering one of his own mistake of perhaps his own doing, good recovery there to come back to what was P3 in the end. King, as I say, puts up a good shirt for that one.
Very good recovery. That's England, I believe Holland and Italy on the podium. Is it Holland?
Yeah. Or is what was it that Angelo, who we're speaking to, another one of our commentators, was saying beforehand, Pizza Man?
Pizza Man, yeah, part of the mafia, of course. 1, 2, 3.
We can't say that out loud.
I can. Who cares? And that is it for us at Supercharged today. Round 8. We're entering final third, the crucial final third of the season. Thursday night, 8 o'clock. It's me and Mike on Simtech. And then Friday night, it's me on FSC. You're going to be seeing a lot of me this week. But in the meantime, it's a goodbye from Sam.
And it's a goodbye from me. Goodbye from Casper.
And it's a goodbye from me as well. Stay safe, everybody. We'll see you all on Thursday. Bye-bye.
See ya.